So I'm just going to minutes for anyone that wants to relocate to do that. Whilst we're doing that, I want everyone here to give themselves an extra special round of applause. Awesome. Now, why did I call it extra special? It's Monday morning, right? Who are the lovers of Monday morning? Truthfully. Yeah. Monday morning always takes it out on us, especially when you had a great weekend. But you are extra special because you are here bright and early before the event started. So please, another rapturous round of applause for yourselves for being here on time. It is indeed an important discussion today, and your presence here shows that you understand how important this event is today. So we thank you especially for being here. I only have one job today, and that's to keep you all engaged, keep us moving through the agenda, and ensure that by the end of this event, your experience was exceptional and the event is indeed memorable. So I ask you and I invite you to please work with me. When I say energy, we're going to do what? We're going to up it and we're going to bring it to the room. So thank you so much. So we won't take much time. Without further ado, allow me to welcome the CEO, Sterling One Foundation, Beju Bekwe, to give the opening remarks. Please let's give her a round of applause and encourage her as she comes to the stage.
The Honorable Commissioner, Ministry of Environment and Water Resources, Mr. Tukumbo Wahab, ably represented. The MD, Lagos State Water Corporation. Thank you very much for joining us today, sir. Our partner, Country Director for Water.org, Mr. Gilbert Okpono. Thank you for joining us, sir. Members of the Fourth Estate of the Realm, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is our pleasure to welcome you to a very auspicious occasion today. The launch of the very first water credit program by a commercial bank in Nigeria. We are very delighted that you took time out of your very busy schedule to join us to address this major challenge. Interestingly, it's not just a local challenge, it is a global challenge. Today marks a significant milestone in our collective mission to expand access to safe water and sanitation to millions of Nigerians across not just the southern part of the country, also the northern and the western part of the country. I must sincerely appreciate the partners that have made this auspicious occasion possible. And please join me to put your hands together for Sterling Bank Limited and Water.org. Access to safe water should not be a privilege. It is a fundamental human right, and yet too many households, especially those in the rural areas, lack access, struggle with the costs and challenges of securing clean, safe, reliable water. This program is more than a financial proposition. It is a pathway to dignity. It is a pathway to higher quality of life. It is a pathway to healthier homes. It is a pathway to reduction in diseases unavoidable deaths. It is a pathway to combine impact with profit. It helps mothers reclaim the hours spent fetching water. It helps children go to school on time. It will help to reduce diseases. It helps to restore opportunities. And it does all of this by placing the power of choice in the hands of every Nigerian. I would like to commend everyone in this room because you are here, because you are also vested in ensuring that this challenge of access to water, access to clean, safe, potable water, and sanitation services are available for every Nigerian and every African. Thank you. I must also commend Sterling Bank for its forward-thinking posture to embrace social impact through innovative financing. I also acknowledge Water.org, whose pioneering vision for water and sanitation financing has transformed the lives of actually more than 62 million people across the globe. I think they deserve a round of applause. To our development partners, government agencies, community leaders, and everyone here today, we say that as we unveil this program, I invite all of us to imagine the ripple effect, the healthier families, and the empowered women, the thriving small businesses, the strengthened local economies. This is what water credit can and will make possible. Once again, thank you so much for being here. Together, let us open the door to a future where every Nigerian household has access to safe, clean water and sanitation facilities. Thank you.
Another round of applause, please. Thank you very much for those opening remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, before we go further into the event, your health and safety is, of course, very, very important. So at this point, I'd like to welcome the CSO of the Wheatbaker Hotel, just to give us a few important information.
Good morning, our distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome to the Wheatbaker Hotel. All emergency procedures to ensure safety have been put in place. We have our arms and security personnel positioned at strategic places. We also have CCTV camera covering the environment except the hall for your privacy. Our fire alarm system is designed water sprinklers and smoke detectors. Whenever it senses any smoke, it's a speech alarm to tell us to evacuate the building. We are not having any fire drill today, so there won't be any false alarm. While the meeting is ongoing, our fire marshals are on ground and our backward staff to attend to your needs. I would do always advise ladies who are putting on high issue in case of any emergency, remove them for comfort. Although our exit door has been covered, but we have other doors behind based on where the emergency will be coming from. Our marshals will be on ground to tell you, to direct you where to follow. By the entrance door there, we have the bar, and directly opposite the bar, we'll have the washroom for your convenience. So thank you. We'll pray as the meeting is ongoing, we'll be around to make sure everything goes smoothly. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for Mr. Tabo. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, what do you have to look forward to today? We all know why we're here. It's an auspicious moment where we get to launch a very important program. During this event, you will be enjoying some goodwill messages, a keynote address, an illuminating and insightful panel discussion, and indeed the unveiling of the subject program. So I want to invite you to sit back and enjoy the event. So to move us on in the agenda, I'd like us to take the first goodwill message from water.org, and I'd like to invite the director, Mr. Gilbert Opono, to come and give that message. A round of applause as he comes up stage, please.
Good morning, all. Good morning, all. I crave your indulgence to stand on existing protocol. Straight to the point. It's a privilege to welcome you to this landmark occasion, the official launch of a partnership between Sterling Bank and Water.org, a collaboration that represents hope, innovation, and progress for millions of Nigerians. Water is life, yet 46 million people lack access to basic drinking water and 116 to basic sanitation. These figures are not just statistics. They represent families, children, communities whose health, education, and economic opportunities are compromised every single day. This is a challenge that demands urgent, sustainable solutions. Why does this matter? Because access to safe water and sanitation is the foundation of development. Without it, children miss school, women spend hours fetching water instead of pursuing income-generating and value-adding activities, and preventable diseases continue to claim lives. The ripple effect is enormous, impacting productivity, healthcare costs, and national growth. Today, through this partnership, we're introducing a bold and practical solution captioned Sterling Bank Water Credit Program. This innovative approach leverages credit to empower households and businesses to invest in water and sanitation solutions. Nigerians can now take control of their future, installing taps, toilets, and safe water systems in their homes. But we cannot do this alone. We call on government, its agencies, MDAs, development partners, and the private sector to join us in amplifying this impact. Every stakeholder has a role to play, whether through policy support, funding, or awareness creation. Together, we can make safe water and sanitation access universal. This program is not just about water and sanitation. It's about dignity, health, and opportunity. It's about ensuring that a mother no longer walks miles to fetch water, that a child can attend school instead of falling ill from waterborne diseases, and that communities can thrive. As we launch today, let's remember, water is not a privilege. Safe water and sanitation is not a privilege, but a right. And through this partnership, we are taking a decisive step towards making that right a reality for millions of Nigerians. Thank you for being part of this journey. Together, we can transform lives, one household, one community at a time. Thank you all.
Please let's give a warm round of applause to Mr. Gilbert O'Connor from Water.org. Indeed, an inspired partnership. Now, as we move on to our keynote address for this event, I'd like to welcome the Honorable Commissioner for the Ministry of Environment and Water Resources for Lagos State, Mr. Tokunbo Wahab, ably represented here today by Mrs. Opeyemi Shurunke, who is the Deputy Director, to deliver the keynote address. Please give her a round of applause and welcome her warmly. Let's encourage her, ladies and gentlemen. We could do better. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, everyone. I bring you warm greetings from my principals, the Permanent Secretary, Dr. Ogaji, Amobayadi Tajuddin, and Mr. Tokunbo Wahab, who are both unavoidably absent. All courtesies duly extended. I'll go straight to the address. Distinguished guests, management and staff of Sterling Bank, One Foundation, and Water.org, partners, ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor to join you today for the launch of the Sterling Foundation groundbreaking water, credit, and wash product, a first of its kind initiative in Nigeria. This innovative financial solution marks a significant milestone in our collective efforts to improve access to clean water, sanitation, and hygiene across our nation. Water is life, yet millions of Nigerians still lack access to safe drinking water and proper sanitation. In Lagos State, open defecation remains a critical challenge, posing serious risks to public health, the environment, and our dignity as a people. The practice spreads diseases, as we all know, contaminates our water sources, and hinders the education and economic potential of our communities, especially women and children. But we are not standing idly. The Lagos State government has made dedicating open defecation a top priority. Part of our efforts include the developing 4 cardinal points to tackle this menace, and that includes bridging of infrastructural gaps. As a matter of fact, we just recently got an approval to build 20 public toilets across the state, and this will take effect soonest. Part of the roadmap includes also enforcement, compliance, monitoring, regulation, and standardization. Part of our enforcement and compliance, we recently launched what we call the anti-open defecation squad in 2 areas that are open defecation prone, Oshodi and Bega. If you are along that axis, you notice that we have people who have reflective jackets, and they pick those who indiscriminately practice this open defecation. So once they are caught, they are made to clean up that what they have done, and any other one that has, also been there. They clean the environment, and they're charged to the magistrate court. That's part of our efforts in seeing to the end of this open defecation menace. And also, so this is where the initiative, I'll continue the address. Excuse me. Okay, so I'll just continue from where I stopped. And then the inauguration of the open anti-defecation squad, which I mentioned, at the open areas that are prone, and also the construction of public toilets, like I mentioned, across the states. However, the scale of the challenge demands greater collaboration, and that is where initiatives like this Sterling Water Credit and Wash Products becomes a game changer. By providing affordable financing for water and sanitation infrastructure, the product empowers families and businesses to invest in dignity, health, and a brighter future. To the people of Lagos State, this launch is a message of hope. Financial inclusion can transform challenges of hope into opportunities. To Sterling Bank, we applaud your leadership in aligning business with purpose. Let us collaborate to achieve a universal access to clean water and sanitation as pledged in the UN Sustainable Development Goals 6. Let this initiative inspire more innovations. Together, we can build a healthier, more resilient Nigeria, one where no one is left behind. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's keep clapping. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mrs. Okwayemi Shirunke, that is representing the Honorable Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources. So as we move on to the next part of the agenda, ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you what happened to me this morning. So you see the agenda for an event as an MC, and some things just make you excited. You are like, right, I'm going to experience one of my life's dreams today. I'm going to meet a real celebrity. Stay with me. I was heartbroken that I wasn't going to meet him in person, that I was going to keep seeing him on screen. So whilst I would have loved to be the day that I will post on Instagram and say, guess what, guys? IG fam, guess who I met today? Today is not that day. Say, "Oh," with me. Thank you. Maybe you might also be a fan, and you're going to have the same moments, but you didn't experience the first half of this conversation, so you are clear on what you are getting. So we're going to watch a short video now, and it's a welcome address from the co-founder of water.org, Matt Damon.
Hi, I'm Matt Damon, co-founder of water.org, Water Equity, and Water Connect. For more than 30 years, we've made it our mission to bring water and sanitation to the world. In our early days, we primarily worked through community-based direct impact solutions. Through this work, we learned that access to affordable financing was the primary barrier between people living in poverty and the safe water and sanitation solutions they need to survive and thrive. In 2003, we created Water Credit, making household loans for water and sanitation possible through local financial institution partners. As we started scaling this solution, we encountered another challenge. There simply wasn't enough capital available to fund the water and sanitation loan portfolios of our partners. That's why in 2017, we established Water Equity to harness the power of impact investing to provide more funding for access to water and sanitation. Right now, our smart solutions are working and scaling at an unprecedented rate. The latest challenge we observe is that there is not enough climate-resilient local infrastructure to reach people in need of safe water and sanitation. So, in 2024, we launched Water Connect. Through Water Connect, we'll help develop infrastructure projects to expand our reach. Together, our solutions will reach more people faster as we work towards our vision of safe water and sanitation for all. Our goal is to change 200 million lives with access to water or sanitation by 2030. We've encountered 3 challenges and developed 3 smart solutions to help break down the barriers between people in need and access to safe water and sanitation. And we are not done. Please join us.
All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to be moving into our panel discussion, and this panel is themed Innovative Financing for Safe Water and Sanitation Access, the Future of Impact Banking. Now, to drive this conversation forward, we've curated an astute panel. And first and foremost, I'd like to welcome from Sterling Bank, Mr. Samuel Oniyiton. A round of applause, please, as he comes up. Welcome, Samuel.
Thank you very much.
From water.org, I'd like to welcome Pendo Masawe, who is the Partnership Account Manager. A round of applause as she comes up, please. Let's make them feel welcome, please. Let's keep clapping. Also from water.org, I'd like to welcome Mr. Gilbert Guma. Let's keep clapping, please, as he comes up on stage. And from the Lagos State Water Corporation, Managing Director, Engineer Mukhtar Temitope Tijani. A round of applause as he comes up. Welcome, panelists. Indeed, this is an important conversation. As we go into this important conversation, this water credit program offers a world of possibilities and opportunities. But before we dive into the conversation, I'd really like to hear from each and every one of you what innovative financing means to you in regards to water and sanitation sector. So I think I'll start from Gilbert.
Thank you very, very much. Good morning, everyone. All protocol observed. As you've heard, my name is Guma Gilbert from water.org. I've been with water.org since 2022, mostly in the space of Uganda, and I've seen quite a good experience of what water credit has done in Uganda. I'll possibly focus on Uganda as a beneficiary of this, but then I can expound it to right here in the backyard. So thank you. Innovative financing for me, in a nutshell, means, the CEO for Sterling Foundation brought it so clearly. It's about impact and profit. When the two merge, it creates such a blend that drives development. But in there, the key is that we are scaling financing and we are breaking barriers to financing. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Samuel Oniyiton, and I work with Sterling Bank. And I'm proud that we at Sterling Bank are the foremost bank that is driving this and the first to do so in Nigeria. For me, innovative finance simply is all about curating financial solution that solves a broad and a very impactful problem. For us at Sterling Bank, we are known to be a bank that is not only just a financial institution, but an impactful one for that matter. Our core strategy of the heart, which is health, education, agriculture, renewable energy, and tech and transportation, reflects the fact that we drive impact across the nation. And with the innovative finance of the water credit program that we are also driving, it's just a testament to the fact that we are an impactful organization and we are hell-bent to make the lives of every Nigeria improved and to bring quality and improve on the standard of living of every Nigeria through this program. Innovative financing for us is to be able to bridge the gap where necessary in the area of WASH, and that is what we are doing today. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Thank you to the Sterling One Foundation, Sterling Bank, and of course, water.org for putting this together. For me, in government, the Water Corporation, we constantly face challenges with financing our projects, of course. The thing from our own perspective is most of the time these projects are heavily capital intensive because we don't have the luxury of doing individual boreholes or smaller projects. So a typical project we do would address a much larger volume of people. And so that means these projects are very, very capital-intensive projects. Now, typically, we funded these projects from the state government coffers in a lot of cases, and we've been lucky to get support from developmental financial institutions, particularly the World Bank over the years, and other similar institutions are also supporting. We have Water Aid right now, UK Water Aid, doing a lot of work with us with the Resilient Water Accelerator, and they are helping out with some of our brownfield facilities that will be rehabilitated. But so, in my own experience, if you ask for innovative financing, I'll be expecting to see how we can have a blended nature where both sources are able to come in part by part, hand in hand, so we can scale a lot of these projects. Because, like I said, the cost to be borne by one party is usually always quite large. So, the program, the water credit, I'm hoping to see how it can also be part of this blend, you know, because I think it's a loan that is accessible not just by the final consumers, but also by, I think, governments. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. My name is Pendo Masawe, as I've been introduced. I work for Water.org. I'm based in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. So, for Water.org, I worked for a financial institution about 8 years.
Just position the mics. It's on just the position.
My experience in terms of innovative finance, what is it? Innovative finance to me is something that breaks the barrier of traditional lending. Traditional lending, we've seen challenges. Audible? Great. So I say, I'm Pendo Masawe. I am based in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, and I work for Water.org as a partnership account manager. Before Water.org, I worked for a financial institution for over 8 years and above. And my personal experience with innovative finance, what it means to me, basically something that breaks that traditional lending barriers that we have faced when it comes to bring water and sanitation access to our communities. One of the things that we faced as barriers is, for example, availability of collateral and securities. Yeah, that families, water institutions face when they want to access water and sanitation. So innovative finance, for me, it's a solution that breaks these barriers to be able to bring in a channel or a blended channels of financial solution to be able to reduce the barriers, reduce the distance between access to water and access to finance. So bringing on board financial institutions, bring on board development partners, bring on board government agencies to be able to work together to make sure households, utilities have access to water and sanitation. So in one word, I would say it's breaking down the traditional lending to make sure there's access to water and sanitation. Thank you.
Very much for that. Those responses, I hear a lot of impact, innovation, collaboration, and breaking down barriers. So that indeed is a great foundation to take this conversation forward. And I think in fact, in answering the first question, a lot of you spoke to why it's important, why it's so essential to have this innovative financing solution. So given the program that we are launching today, I'd like us to talk a bit about the finance models that we think we believe are the most viable for scaling safe water and sanitation delivery in both urban and rural areas. So I think I'd like to start from you again, Pendo, because you stopped on that point.
Thank you very much. Financing models, not to be a barrier of, I would say a barrier of good news. I would want to talk on our water credit model. That is one of the financing model that we advocate as one of the solutions to access to water and sanitation. So this is basically bringing on board different partners, source of funds, and financial institutions to work together to create solutions that make sure we reach households that without the service that we provide, they will not be able to have access. So this brings on board technical assistances. It brings on board financing opportunities, brings on board capacity building. So it's a mix of services and financing all together to reach one goal. So that at itself, it can be, I would say, for example, a portion of a grant and a portion of financing in terms of loan. So it's a mix of grant and debt to bring about solution towards water and sanitation access. So that is one example of financing, blended financing solution that I want to talk to. There are a number of solutions that are available out there in the market, but I want to just mention that one. Yeah.
I think that's a really very important one, because I think being able to blend grants with commercial loans also de-risks as well. Yes. So I'd like to come to you for the other half of the conversation and the question from the financial perspective.
All right, thank you so much. I think taking it up from my other panelists, it has to be a blend of grant and debt. And for us at Sterling, we decided to play from the debt perspective by launching the water credit program that we are here to do today. For us at Sterling, the model we adopted is one that makes credit accessible to all, particularly those who are supposedly marginalized and those who truly need this services and solution. Our model is such that we focus on target individuals, households, and small businesses. Like Mr. Muta just mentioned, when the government is to do such project, it's very big, right? But I think where we come in is just to pick it at piecemeal and impact directly the households by providing credit to them where grants are not readily available. And I think that's the model we are running. We believe so much in it. We've done it in other sectors, education, health, renewable energy. And we believe coming into this space at this time is critical not just to us as an organization, but to nation building as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing that perspective. I'd like to come to the government side of things and come back to you, Engineer Mukhtar. You've talked about the need for collaboration and the immense capital that is required for some of these projects. I'd like you to talk to us about the regulatory frameworks that exist or incentives that can be strengthened to encourage investment in water utilities and community systems.
All right, thank you. So as for the regulatory framework, I'll take the question in that order. In the Lagos water sector, we have a regulator established by law, the Lagos Water Regulatory Commission, that takes care of all the regulatory issues around the delivery of WASH, not just water, actually, water, wastewater, and every other thing. And the first thing that comes to mind when we speak about the regulatory interventions is the tariff setting and the tariff discussions with the consumers. It's a robust framework that I've been a part of. I've seen them put together in particularly one of our locations now in Akilo, where it's a long process that goes by. You engage the customers. Obviously, they will get a submission from us as the utility as what we expect the tariff to be. But I've seen the level of engagement and the work of the regulator to ensure there's equitable and fairness in the tariff setting process. So this has also brought a lot of the consumers in for us to kind of hear directly what their challenges are and what kind of interventions they will also want from government. And that's maybe a place I see where this water credit facility can help with a lot of those consumers. The other part of the question was, I think it was regulatory framework and...
So yeah, it was in terms of how the regulatory frameworks and
Yes. So when I think about government involvement again in water delivery, we want to incentivize the private sector participants and even the final consumer by really de-risking a lot of the capital that will go into it, because it's, I spent some time also in the electricity sector, so I see the difference, how water is a bit more, it's a right, even according to the Sustainable Development Goals number 6, it's a bit more of a human right than a luxury. So we have to ensure there's equitability in the delivery of water. So the incentives government can put in place is to find a way to ensure that tariff is easily accepted by the consumers by de-risking some of the investments by the private sectors.
Would there be any value perhaps to as well as incentives?
Certainly. So I'll take us back to maybe the community I spoke about. There's a wide array of consumers in the area. We have people that are getting individual meters in their house. We have people that have like a communal in their communities. About 12, 20 people living in the same compound. They have a communal meter. Somebody is responsible for essentially running it. And then we have like water kiosks that are like in markets and other areas. That's where we saw how we can get those market women over there to essentially bringing them into the what was the word? Some of them we don't have a record of them, right? So that helps us, bring them into the tax net and see how we can give them breaks based on their running of the water system and also getting registration of a lot of other people in there. So that's a way I saw how we've seen how we can get some of those people into the tax net and also give them a tax break for participating.
So you solve multiple problems with one solution. Thank you for that response. I'd like to come to you, Gilbert. Can you tell us how development partners can help strengthen the pipeline of investable water projects?
Thank you, MC. This morning I'm very, very excited. First of all, I will say that Sterling Bank, you have a cloud of witnesses out there in the globe, in Latin America, in Asia, here in Africa, that are doing what you're doing. And you're not walking the path alone. There's quite a lot to learn from, a lot of connections, and I'm looking forward to hearing how we are going to benefit on these connections to see that this program is nurtured and grows and becomes very explosive. I mean, in Africa, when you talk about Nigeria, everybody knows explosiveness, thinking big. So that's, for me, excites me, and that's what I come with in this room. Yeah, in terms of building the pipeline, there's quite a lot. I was just thinking through the downstream and upstream, just to pick on a previous question. Financing is a very great topic, and I'm glad that we are talking about this in the era where the global agenda is really focused towards climate resilience today. We know that water and sanitation fall in the aspects of climate resilience and climate adaptation. As a bank, I know there's quite a lot you're doing in checklisting on how your performance around ESG, environmental, social, and governance aspects. And so just thinking around that space, there's quite a lot in terms of performance, in terms of collaboration, in terms of partnerships that can build the pipeline. There's quite a lot. Where I'm coming from, there's been a conversation with the Bankers Association to see how we can develop the WASH curriculum so that financial institutions can just plug in, so that it's not a new invention of the wheel, but we can just plug in and participate. But more specifically to the question, as a business, just coming down to the granular aspects, as a business, there is quite a lot around working with private sector to build the business and thus scale water and sanitation credit in this country. There's quite a lot in terms of profiling the businesses out there that can grow. We know that a financial institution like Sterling Bank would want to see itself grow, especially eating on the business perspective around the businesses in the sector. So that is, at the granular level, a starting point. Where in this country do we see the private sector? How can we engage the private sector? I saw in my local travels here in Lagos in July, I saw quite a lot around the sanitation business line. There's quite a lot of investment. So that is a very good start point. We had government talk about open defecation. Where there is a challenge, there is a need. Great participation and support from government in trying to streamline the pipeline so that we can plug in easily as a private sector. One of the challenges we've had and questions we've had to answer from the social perspective is, how does a bank address issues that are more operational and maintenance level? That is where government comes in to support, for Sterling Bank. What are the guardrails? What are the aspects that government would need to put straight so that the financial institution like Sterling Bank can be able to easily plug in? I know we have players in the sector of water and sanitation. How can we be in the boardrooms of these sectors, of this sector of water and sanitation, to be able to profile the bank as a major player in this sector? So I am looking forward to seeing Sterling Bank in the boardrooms of water and sanitation sectors, discussing the contribution, providing reports at that level of the sector performance. I think that is a great way to start granular here in country. In terms of the global perspective, there's quite a lot. We don't want to go into that. But there's a lot of capital that is being sunk. There's a lot of monitoring of the capital being invested into the water and sanitation sector. So there are facilities out there to support this. Maybe my other shot would be to seek and pray that Sterling Bank becomes an advocate of a credit facility from government. We know one of the big questions behind the curtains has been, how do we make water and sanitation profitable? I think one of the big examples we see countries come out with credit facilities like there are in other sectors, not just uniquely to, that wouldn't be unique to water and sanitation. Other sectors where we're supporting and breaking down and helping the sector position itself through credit facilities. I could go on and on. Thank you.
Indeed. You've given us so much to think about, but I think your comments and your feedback just lays the foundation for my question to Samuel. In terms of what then makes this whole conversation, what makes this sector bankable?
All right, thank you, Uti. From the bank's perspective, from the business perspective, indeed, the sector is bankable. I mean, the statistics are there. While Kweju was making remarks, even Gilbert, they reeled out some statistics, right? The Nigeria Bureau of Statistics last report on WASH indicates that about 14% population are the population size that have access to clean water. So the question is, what happened to the other 86%, right? I know that report is a bit some years back. If I discount to say maybe we've done a lot to double that figure, right? Today we are still way behind. So it then tells us that there is an opportunity in that space. The market is there. There is a need for it, right? What we are only doing is to provide a solution from the private sector point of view and from a financial institution point of view. For those who don't have access to quality water, sanitation, and hygiene, it is not that they don't want to. It is a case of they cannot finance it in most cases. And that's where we come in to provide the financing. Indeed, it's bankable because the market is there. And I'm very optimistic that in the coming months and year, we will begin to see that that space has grown tremendously, and credit facility in that space would have also more than quadrupled, because I envisage that other players will begin to come into that space as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Samuel, for that feedback. I'd like to come back to you, Engineer Mukhtar, because you talked about collaboration. And I just wanted you to build on that in terms of what partnerships, other financing structures that have shown the strongest results in WASH.
Thank you. So, yes, collaboration is a very, from my view, a very critical component of success in WASH. You know, because as government, you know, WASH is priority. You know, it dovetails into other sectors, as you can imagine, particularly health and social welfare, etc. Now, in addition to what I mentioned earlier about government funding directly a lot of these massive infrastructure projects and the support we've received from the World Banks and the Water Aids UK DFIDs of this world, we recently launched a program at the Lagos Water Corporation, and it's a PPP program, right? And I think it would underscore the whole purpose of collaboration more than any other program we've done in the past. And it's PPP stands for Public-Private Partnership, and we've sent out an EOI as far back as July. We got a lot of responses for 7 of our smaller waterworks out of about 48. So we picked the first 7, and we've gotten bids submitted, both local and international. And we're at final stages of reviewing the financial bids. We've looked at the technicals, and and I think the whole purpose is to ensure success in that program. So everything we can do as government, we're doing, and we'll continue to do. We're working with the PPP office in the Lagos State Government, the Public Procurement Office, the Ministry of Justice, Ministry of Works. So it's a collaborative effort internally, so that when we get the private sector in, we can now possibly introduce them to you, see how they can also benefit from this water credit program. So there's a lot more collaboration that will be coming up now with Sterling One Foundation, also part of the discussion at water.org. Thank you.
It's definitely encouraging to hear that you're getting that kind of volume of responses to an EOI, and it shows that there's a lot of opportunity in that field. Before we progress any further, we have another panel who has just walked in, and I'd like to invite him to join us in this very important conversation. So just allow me to welcome, from the Financial Center for Sustainability, FC4S, Mr. Emmanuel Etadehi, who's the Deputy Director. Please, with a warm round of applause, let's welcome him up on stage. Welcome, Mr. Emmanuel. So I'm not going to let you settle in before I bring a question your way to attempt to balance out the conversation. So indeed, we've gone through various parts of the conversation, from the impact to all the various factors that are driving investment into this sector. But I'd like to hear from you, from your perspective, what catalytic financing instruments, right, have proven most effective in WASH?
Thank you very much, moderator, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Forgive me if my voice is not as sharp as it should be. I'm carrying days of stress of returning from, somebody called it Bethlehem. It's not Bethlehem, actually. It's Belém in Brazil for COP30. Yeah, it's been a long one coming. And also, I just was fortunate enough to be part of an MOU signing ceremony for the first ever corporate plastic and carbon bond in Nigeria, possibly in Africa, possibly in the world, by FMDQ, FC4S Lagos, Chapel Hill, and Kalchani, and then FSD Africa Kenya. I think it's something we should appreciate. It's innovative. It is something that came out from the need for us to ensure that we have, a secular economy that is vibrant and dynamic. Now, to piggyback into water and the question you asked me around the kind of financing products that I think there are several ways to go about it, but I want to be as practical as possible. So I lived in a small community in Karu. Karu is a conurbation to Abuja years back. I now live in Lekki, Phase 1. I also have a family home around Ikota. You won't compare Karu to Lekki or to Ikota. You say Karu is just a backward community, maybe some civil servants living there, central bank staffers living there, customs staffers living there, villagers. But Karu had clean water. The formula was simple from the local government administrator. He partnered with the World Bank to set up a water reservoir that fed the community, clean water, and then he metered it. So before I counted metering of electricity in Lagos, I've already started paying for metering of water in Karu several years ago. This was around 2010, 2011. So it was a choice for the community. Either you try to drill a borehole endlessly to get water that is dirty brown, or you join the clean water that the World Bank is providing with the local government and pay for it. Guess what? Everybody joined. Once you joined, they piped it to your house. They opened it, they put your meter there. You load your card, just like you load your normal electricity card. And when the water is exhausted, when your card is exhausted, water stops. You load again. It was smooth, it was seamless, it was clean. We could use it to cook and anything. It was very good. Why did I go for that example? I think we should be practicalizing replicable models. As I usually say, the only place where it is wrong to copy is when you're in school. Then the examiner will come and embarrass you, harass you, say I cheat. Once you're out of school, there's nothing wrong with copying. You copy, you innovate. That's the whole concept of innovation. The Germans innovated on what the British had done in terms of car making. Then the Japanese innovated on what the Germans had done. And the Taiwanese and all of them, they brought in more cars. China now is now making cars. They're innovating. BYD innovated on what Elon Musk had done in terms of electric cars as the biggest electric car company by sales today. We can innovate. We can copy. We can replicate those models in our communities, in Lagos, in everywhere in the country. Water is goal 6. Water is most important. Water, sanitation, and hygiene, they are goal 6. And FC4S Lagos has spent a lot of time trying to push that message. The model to use for me is to have a PPP model, like the last speaker had said, PPP. Like what the World Bank did. It was public, it was both private and public. It had a funding model, it could pay for itself. Okay? It was not charity. But it was good, clean water that the community appreciated. That young man was also very brilliant, that local government administrator. He also did something for housing. What he did was to prepare the land. He would prepare the land, he would put gutters, he would put electric poles, he would sandfill it, he would fence it. And developers rushed at him too, because he already did 30% of the work they were supposed to have done. That was taking a lot of money for them to do. So those kind of smart systems can be replicated. Now, apart from that, there's some communities in the U.S., I think, that do what we call tax credits. where if you invest in WASH, you get a rebate on tax. All right. Some of my colleagues a few years back did those research and supported the Clean Nigeria Secretariat with the reports. I understand they want to start to practicalize it now. It's part of the effort to end open defecation by 2025 actually. Yeah, hard time flies. But it's also practicable, tax credits. So if, because of the size of the investment, the government can't do it alone. And we always say government, we say all of us are one. It's the private setup man that became a government official. One day that government official will retire and become a private sector person, start doing his business. We all rely on each other. Collaboration goal 17 is the most important goal. We should have a model that allows the two major segments of the economy, private and public, to benefit. We should all take responsibility. This one where we now have multiplied boreholes everywhere, let it be known that fecal matter flows freely from your septic tank to your boreholes. So it's not efficient for everybody to be digging a borehole in their compounds. Let's have a model like that young man did in Karu. Let's have a water system funded by what they call blended finance. Philanthropy money, DFI, foundations like Sterling One, a bank like Sterling Bank, or Access Bank, or Zenith Bank, capital market, blended finance that brings the cost of capital down. Provide infrastructure, put a funding structure around that makes it commoditized. People can pay for it. Okay? They can enjoy it. Don't say it won't work, it will work. Nobody knew telecom would work in Nigeria. Did we know? They told us it was for the rich. Right? When it came out, it was 15 naira per minute, right? But today, even the guy who rolls a truck has a phone or two phones. The Kenyans perfected the payment system for anything that is going to succeed. Commoditize it, make it easily available. They have what they call M-Pesa, right? From your phone, click. It doesn't have to be a smartphone, actually. We can pay. Let's commoditize this water thing. If it's not working, how come the guy is selling pure water and making business? Do you know whether the water is clean? So we can commoditize these things. We can run a PPP model around it. We can make it, self-funding. We can make the funding to be blended, and it can work. And we can also introduce tax credits. Road tax credits are working. And Dangote is enjoying it. Lafarge, they're enjoying it. We can bring it to water, sanitation, and hygiene. I think communities in the U.S. have done it. They did it for their film industries. There are a few states in the U.S. that have done it. In Hawaii, too. In Hawaii, if you invest in WASH, you get a rebate. So these models are replicable, and we can look at them one by one. At FMDQ, FC4S Lagos, we are ready to work with the government, with anybody who wants to put structures like this in place and ensure that they become a reality. It's what we demonstrated today when we launched that plastic carbon bond. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think that deserves a round of applause. You've given us so much to chew on and to think about. And the very first thing you said I connected with, because you're talking about Karu. Lekki people, if somebody asked you now to pay metered water, to get clean water, it's yes or no for the Lekki people in the room. So the challenges may seem like they're far away, but here we're dealing with the same challenges. I'd like to come to you, Pendo, and just to talk about a lot of what we've been saying, from financing to these solutions. It's almost they're solutions, but I want to talk about who they're solutions for. Because you might think that when you talk about lending and access to finance, we all know what challenges exist there. So how can we ensure that these innovative financing mechanisms that we're talking about, how they remain pro-poor and inclusive? I was about to say pure and inclusive.
Thank you very much. Very good question. So just to echo what previous panelists say about PPPs, yeah? To ensure that these solutions that we are advocating for are pro-poor, I would suggest that we have them involve community in the first place, as in be more intentionally in involving the community that we want to serve when we are making the solutions. More inclusive, to make sure that everyone in the community voice is heard. Their demand is heard, so that the solutions that are developed actually reach the demand that is there. So to make them proper, one advice that I'll give is to ensure, as we work to create this environments that are enabling to financial institutions, to government sectors, to development partners, we include...
So just allow me to pause you. Just
Okay.
hold that thought there for a second. Ladies and gentlemen, I do apologize. One of our panelists needs to leave. If you can, with a round of applause, please thank Engineer Mukhtar for joining us and all the great work that he's doing at the Lake Corporation. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. Please go ahead, Pende.
Thank you. So, as I was saying, to have PPPs model that are community, involve our communities, their voices are heard, so that when we develop solutions, the solutions actually meet the very demand that we want to create, but also, as well, to also look at the supply side. When we are talking water sanitation, we also include the supply side. We want to talk of sustainable water solutions. We want to ensure that water sources are maintained, so that the solutions that we develop are sustainable, to a point of when we develop the solutions, we ensure there is actual availability of water and sanitation services to the people that we want to serve. So first and foremost, I'll advocate for PPP solutions that involve the community in the beginning, that are involving the voice, the demands of the community that we want to serve. But also when we bring in other stakeholders, other players in the market, when we develop this enabling environment from frameworks, from policies, we ensure that these frameworks that we set in place, at the end of the day, they meet the people that we want to serve, the demand of the people that we want to serve.
That's very, very important in understanding who the audience is that we're trying to serve and how we can continue to ensure that they do get the solutions that we are innovating and creating. So thank you so much for that.
Thanks.
I'd like to come back, Mr. Emmanuel. I'd like to come back to you. We've talked a lot about the solutions and what is possible. But in terms of, I'd like to hear you on collaboration. All the solutions you talked about, there's not one organization that can do it alone, and you've said that your organization is indeed willing to collaborate. Just what are the innovative ways that we can collaborate to move that this sector forward?
The need for water speaks for itself. I want you to show me one person that does not need water. Then I'll call that person a spirit or a ghost. Everybody needs water. And Fela will say, water doesn't have enemy. You know, he had a reason for making that song. It's one of his super hits. You need water at any point in time. So I don't think you need to beg people to collaborate when it comes to water. What we need to do is the messaging has to be well coordinated. You know, these kind of things usually work better when it is seen that the government is leading it. When the government shows that concern and that care. In some communities, you could win elections just based on providing things like water. Let me tell you about an innovative concept in California. California suffers a lot of fire, right? During the dry season. And they have these canals, you know, that they built, all right? You know, and they have water shortage, too, surprisingly. So two people, I'm just cutting the story short, came up with the concept of how they can cover the canals with solar panels. And when the electrolytes or whatever in the panels ionize the water, the water becomes clean and usable. So they solve two problems: access to electricity, access to clean water. It was just two laymen. One was an actor, the other one was an engineer. But once they came up with the concept, guess what? The academia said they were interested. So you're asking for how we can collaborate, right? So I'm giving you the collaborators now. Academia said, how did you come up with the concept? It's not well research. There's nothing to back up your research. Nobody has drawn this hypothesis, but we are interested. They didn't debunk it. They said, let us talk to you more. I know what you're thinking about. Once the academia got involved, the government said, no. This might be the solution to the problem that we have. The film industry weighed in. Every single sector weighed in. But the opposite is what we have here. A brilliant idea, somebody is looking for a way to gut it, a way to destroy it, a way to ridicule it and make it look as if we are just daydreaming. We have a PhD syndrome. Pull him down, unless it's ourselves. So pull him down is the opposite of collaboration. So let us see the collective interest. That's where I said it from, the need for water. And if we have a brilliant concept like what Sterling One and Water.org is doing, we should all pitch in and detail it out on where we see it ending. Those drops of water on the screen, are they coming to my house in Lekki, like you mentioned? When I came back yesterday, when I opened the tap, the smell that greeted me, I said, welcome home. I'm back home. The smell, just to wash my hand. I felt I've been going through airports, places. Let me wash my hand. The smell of the water from the tap in prime Lekki 1 was terrible. What about the color of the water on my buckets, white buckets? They were clay. I had to wash and wash. I claim to be living in Lekki. The man in Sapele, in my village where I was born, can drink the water from his well. I live there, I grew up there. We don't bother. There's public water, but we just dig the well. Before you dig 6 feet, water has come out, you can drink it. So that concept, Sapele water, is literal. We can drink the water, not the alcoholic type. We can drink the water easily. So we have to work at a model that will work to help everybody. Water is a collective need. Everybody must identify around it. This structure created by Sterling One, all of us to pitch behind it, no need for new ideas. Let's work with them, collaborate with them. Let's all bring out our competencies and our skills and our capabilities to support them, to make sure it works. That kind of collaborative model is what I'm talking about. Not pulling anybody down, but supporting because there's a collective need, an identifiable need that affects every one of us. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Indeed, fantastic response to that question. Ladies and gentlemen, we're coming to the part of the conversation where we can take your questions, and I'm sure you've been listening to the panelists and you have 1 or 2 questions that you'd like to ask as well. Before we begin to take your questions, I'd like to take one final question for you, Mr. Gilbert. And as we're bringing this conversation to a close, I'd like you to share with us what you think is one policy change or innovation that you would prioritize to unlock more funding for safe water access.
Thank you for that very brilliant and mind-tackling question. I was listening in to my colleague here, and one of the statements that struck me was, tell me one person who doesn't need water, and I'll tell you their spirit. I mean, that's a great one. That's a great quote. Yeah, in terms of your question, I think one of the key things that we need to think about, and I'll throw this back to government, we in government have looked at the backbones of our economy so long, looking back from where I come from. And there's been a great policy to grow the economy purposefully through agriculture. We've had an agriculture credit facility, such a great facility that has supported financing in agriculture to grow and become a more viable and palatable business. As you might have had across board from the panelists, the PPP approach will definitely strike the game. I look forward to seeing a level of engagement of government where we can have a water and sanitation credit facility that supports WASH as a priority on the agenda of government. Across the global south, we've seen the water and sanitation sector not having that priority in the agenda of government. Among the listings of the priorities, you will find, for example, where I come from, of the budget cake of the country, water and environment takes about 2%. We have one of the great eaters of the basket. Security takes about close to 40%. That is in itself a statement. So for me to begin with, before I look any other place, a policy that would engage, catalyze, support government to raise the cake for water and sanitation would stand out. Be it in a credit facility, be it in a catalytic facility that supports water, sanitation, environment, would be a great one. We've had, and congratulations, sir, having a bond in Africa. It should be one of the first. Yeah. These are great innovations that require government to take a forward seat. So at the beginning, I think one of the listings would be, let's have government before we even start to advocate. Minus government, our advocacy is just piecemeal. It's a drop in the lake. And so we would need government to support any advocacy approaches. And to start with, all advocacy should be anchored on government prioritizing WASH as a number one priority. That would fast track any engagements, any catalytic approaches, any energies required, both internally and externally, to support the growth for the sector. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for that response. I think everyone in this room can agree that prioritizing the sector is more than essential. Open the floor for questions. Wonderful, I love it. So a few rules, if you can just introduce yourself, and then please tell us which your question is directed. It sounds like it's on. Just try it.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. My name is Atta Benson. I'm from Society for Water and Sanitation. Society for Water and Sanitation is a civil society network on water and sanitation, and we coordinate over 300 organizations across the country. I was particularly happy when I got the invitation of this event, and I want to first commend Sterling Bank for this event, because this is what we've been looking for over the years. In 2022, the federal government hosted an event in Abuja, WASH Summit. At Summit, we expected to see private sector come in and pitch their tents in different states. We did not see. So that's why I had to take myself to come all the way from Abuja to be part of this event. So for State Bank, I don't know how prepared you people are, because what you've started is not a small thing. And it's something that will really work with states and local government. I don't know how huge and how well you are prepared to see how you can carry the state along. Because we don't advocate for free service to the citizens. We expect citizens to pay for services. And the only people that provide this is the private sector. That's why in 2007, since 2000, we started advocating for private sector participation in the provision of water, sanitation, and this has not been common. From what has been said, I'm not asking the question, but just making contribution and how you can explore how you can work in different states. The Clean Nigeria Use the Toilet campaign has been on since 2019. And how do we leverage that to get either the local government or the states to mobilize their citizens to key into this? Because in some states, they're already making contributions to own facilities and paying gradually. Some people get this facility and pay during their harvest. So I want us to see how this can be keyed into all this and come up for us to have a very robust implementation across the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your comment, sir.
Thank you. My name is Kule Kudati. I do a lot of sustainability consulting, and I'm here on behalf of TMP. I was going to suggest that if you look at PIA and the community development plans, if you look at maybe 80% of the community need for the wash intervention is there. And it's money. So maybe it would be a good forum, this congregation, to look at how can we do fit for purpose, sustainable intervention in the Delta. There is money, there is the will to have it. Maybe there's a cultural nuance of we don't pay for anything, but we have the money to project. Maybe it goes up in a year, which is where your skill and your competence come in. Maybe you should consider that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Okpeyemi Shorunke from the Lagos State Ministry of Environment and Water Resources. So I'd like to address the Oga from Sterling Bank. So we have this, what we call the public toilet operators of Nigeria, and then we work closely with them. And some have toilets that were built by them, built and maintained. Some were built by the government as a source of empowerment for widows and all that. So I would like to know if Sterling Bank would kindly partner with them, because we found that, as a matter of fact, last week we had our annual World Toilet Day. It's a global annual event, yes. And the theme was sustaining sanitation and always need the toilet. And our panel discussion was about providing finances for sanitation services. Because a lot of these public toilet operators, their toilets are old, maybe a little run down, and what they've always advocated for was people who will partner with them they can upgrade their toilets so that all of us here can walk in the toilet and use. So I'd like Sterling Bank to please consider it maybe going forward, so that when next come to you, just so that you can help us, whether it's as a form of a loan or civil or social responsibility, so that we can just upgrade those toilets and then make it fit for everybody to use. So please just have us in mind when next public toilet operators, so we work closely with them. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that comment and feedback, Mr. Shorunke. Do we have any other questions in the room?
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, panelists. My name is Adora Ezemba, and I'm working with Lean Premium Water Limited. Our discussions today have been on sustainable water and how to have the purest of water out there for community. Now, I want to ask, based on private companies who also are in the water business, and how they can actually key into this program and also give out this sustainable water. And my question goes, in what ways can water producing company like ours expand access to safe and affordable water for underserved communities, while still maintaining a sustainable and profitable business under the Steering Water Credits and WASH financial program? How can our company key into this program? Because the aim of private business is to make profits, and still, yes, we still want to give out to the society in order to maintain, make this program or this project a feasible one. How do we come in, and how do you help us? Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's been interesting to hear from people on the other side of the divide, and I'm particularly interested by with the comment from the man from Abuja and the representative from the state government. The rest assured, I will keep in touch with you, because what you've just said fully aligns with what we are doing as well. I already say community created from your side that we can then collaborate with. To the question that has been asked, for us at Sterling Bank, we are indeed open to financing businesses. Like I said earlier, the water credit program is for both individual, household, communities, and businesses. As long as you are a business that is into the WASH ecosystem, we are happy to collaborate with you, support your business to grow and scale, and to do it meaningfully and in a very impactful way. So our doors are open. You can walk up to us. We will try to understand your business well and help you with all the technical support you require in terms of being able to assess the finance. And why we are here essentially is not just to make profit, but to make impact and to make meaningful impact. And we know that we can't do that all by ourselves, but via collaborations. And we've demonstrated this with all that we do around the health sector, right? We've scaled health impact, we've scaled education impact. Today in the country, when you talk about any financial institution that is driving electric cars, driving renewable energy, then you want to think about Sterling. And we are so happy that we will be doing the same with WASH. And with us, we are very available to support every cardinal and ecosystem in the country. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that response and commitment from Sterling Bank. Ladies and gentlemen, I thought you would have clapped more than that. Thank you so much. Do we have any other questions? Okay. Can we have the mic at the middle table, please?
About that. So my name is Toloni. I'm Managing Director of Sanitation and Allied Solutions. We're in the water and sanitation business. We also have a bathroom business. Portland Bathrooms is part of our group. The question I was going to ask really relates to technology in the WASH sector. And one of the gentlemen, I didn't catch his name, you mentioned about copying being only in school was copying a problem, and there's so many solutions around water and sanitation that they've deployed technology, especially in Asia and also in South America, they've been very successful. What do you think are ways that those innovation can be easily sort of brought into the Nigerian space into Africa? So I'd be very keen to hear your view, or perhaps somebody else in that area. There's one around copying technology-driven innovation in the wash sector. The second thing that that is of interest to me is particularly water quality. So everyone's talked about dirty water, smelly water coming out of the taps, but even drinking water. They've been, for example, of companies that do drinking water, that dispenser water, and then there's problems with the quality. So I just want to hear your views about water quality, because the body is nearly 70% water. So it's so critical. So I'd like to hear your views on that. Thank you.
Thank you for that challenging question, sir, Mr. Tolu. Yes, indeed, copying is only a crime when you're in school. I met a young man a couple of years ago who had a German technology for making water, clean water, drinkable water, literally from even the dirtiest of ponds. Well, most of us in this room might have traveled abroad already, especially the UK. The water in your tap in the room in the UK, where is it coming from? Where now? In pure English, shit. Recycled. But if you tell a Nigerian, they will cringe. But you've been going to the UK every now and then, and you've been using the water to wash whatever, maybe even drink it sometimes. It's doable. Those technologies can be replicated here. So we have what they call biodigester that can do some things. I don't know whether I can do water yet, the local one, where you can use your the product of your septic tank to make gas for cooking, gas for electricity, to drive your generator, and then the fecal matter can actually help for agriculture. There are other technologies that can produce clean water. I mentioned the one from the UK, the one from Germany. But apart from using septic-related water, I have a young innovator based in Kaduna, Schrodinger. You can go online, Schrodinger. Henry, that's his name. The company is called Schrodinger. He's one of the products of our WASH hackathons. Every year I do hackathons for youths, for Nigeria, and Nigerian youths, aged between 18 and 35, both in the WASH sector or in the fintech sector. And then I give them seed capital to implement their smart ideas. So this one of our winners, his own idea was to make water from solar. All right? He has practicalized it. He's gotten a contract from the Kaduna state government. He's providing water. He's helping women to have access to jobs. He's even created a side business. He provides not just the water that you can put on your dispenser. He provides pure, not poor water, pure water to the community. He supports agriculture. A young man. There's another guy from Switzerland, Roland. He makes water from the air. You can go online and check for these things. Water from solar, water from the air is doable. Yeah. So these technologies are available. They are replicable. And if you want direct contact with Roland from Switzerland on how to make clean water from the air, drinkable water from the air, please you can contact me through Madam Eju. I can give you Roland's number. Roland was eager to set up in Nigeria, but our process for setting up a business. He got talking with the minister. We met at the water event organized by the Swiss government. I can't say too much. In Abuja, and he got discouraged. And he went to set up in Rwanda. I said, Roland, where are you? I thought you were starting with your water. He had what they call water ark, like Ark of the Covenant. He was going to set up in communities that do not have water, and then they pay for it, they enjoy it. But the conditions for setting up, and those, conditions. You and I know what I'm talking about. The guy just got discouraged. He went to Rwanda where ease of doing business is very simple and set up there. But I'm still trying to win him back to Nigeria, because his solution can actually help. So these technologies are available. German, Swiss, local from the Nigerian boy, Henry, they're all available. They are available and they can be replicated. What I would like to see, honestly, is Lagos State, since they are taking the lead, they just did a 15 billion naira green bond, right? and celebrated it on the 20th. The governor celebrated, thank God. We were part of it from the beginning too, in RTFMDQ and FC4S. We organized the training for the cabinet of the state and the MDAs on green bonds and supported them to issue. It lasted 4 years. But thank God we made it. It was oversubscribed to 83%. Lagos State, since they've taken this lead, you can pass the message on to Engineer Hafiz, right? They can bring together smart people like Mr. Tolu, like the Henrys. Henry comes to Lagos at times to the other guys to think through. We are in a state where we should have, a standing technology committee or think tank to think about our water challenge. We can't be 0.8 meters below sea level and the water coming from my tap in Lekki is smelling. The irony is too much. We are listed among the, what they call the small island states in the world, like Seychelles. States that are below sea level. Lagos, Miami, and Venice. There are 11 states like that in the world that are below sea level. Baku in Azerbaijan, and yet we don't have clean water. It's insulting. So I like your question because technology solves a lot of things. Your smart kid that's 11 or 12 years old can sell you because they are tech smart. Maybe we are still relying on the old methods of making water. That's why we have a problem. Get the tech guys together in a room, in a standing, I don't want to call it committee, like a think tank on water, and craft out various technologies. And then let's bring this funding that we are suggesting around for this technology to make them bankable and workable. And I think Sterling Bank will embrace it if you tell them I have this technology that can provide water at a cheaper rate, faster rate. It just uses air. There's air everywhere. Or mine, it just uses solar. Or mine, I just go to the river, I put my machine, like the German technology, and I bring out the cleanest water. I think we should have a think tank to think about, and that's how the developed market succeeds. They don't play with technology and academia. They have think tanks everywhere addressing issues. I stop here.
Awesome. There was a second question about water quality.
Okay. I also think that, because I think the state government already must have this unit or department that will be in charge of, maybe providing quality control. I think that unit needs to be empowered by DFIs in terms of their lab, in terms of their human capacity, to get every private sector operator claiming to produce water to subject their product, not the way we get NAFDAC to check our goods, all right, our products, right? Let them certify you that your water that you're producing has this level of purity. It can't be 100% pure, but the minimum requirements. So that can be either on the package you're using to provide the water, like the bottle. There's this conjecture, I won't mention the company's name, that even the cleanest of water we drink from the plastic has plastic particles inside. I don't know whether it's true. So, but we should have that quality control unit government-wise, supported by DFIs and private sector money, that will certify the water coming out of each company producing water, whether private or public, that the water is clean. The one I mentioned in Sapele, I don't have the means of measuring its purity, but I know we drank it for years, none of us died. Because, of course, I worked in the power station there for 10 years. One of the reasons why that power station, the steam power station, was built in Sapele at the time was because the water is very pure. So all you needed to do was draw the water up, pass it through resins, boil it to 550 degrees Celsius, pipe it, and then it hits the turbine at right angles, and it produces electricity. Water was clean, so the steam was not contaminating the steel of the turbine. Whereas Sapele water is not everywhere. So we need to have that quality control unit of government testing and certifying, stamping your product. Each bottle you buy, each sachet you buy, that stamp, that seal of purity should be there. And then we need to stop. I mentioned this. We need to stop individual boreholes. We are living in a land that is literally below sea level. And I said there's connection between your septic tank and your water tank. Let's stop it. Let it be a central point we draw from. that passes through all of this, that has gone through all these technologies, and then we can claim or decide that it is clean for us to consume. At least centralize it in a way, maybe Lekki water resource, maybe Ajah water resource, different segments of the town. But to have individual houses digging boreholes, besides, there's even a structural problem. You're compromising the integrity of the it could collapse. Those are just my thoughts. I think we should look at quality control, and then look at having a think tank that has both private and public sector contributors that are worrying every day about providing quality water for citizens. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please, can we give all of our panelists a warm round of applause for that engaging and illuminating session? Thank you also, ladies and gentlemen, for your questions, for your comments and your feedback. It is much appreciated. I'd like to invite our panelists to please stand. Okay, and we can just take some pictures before. Thank you very much, panelists. A round of applause for our panelists as they return to their seats, please, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for your attention so far. I trust that the event has been engaging and interesting for you so far. We'd like to take another goodwill message. So we'd like to take another goodwill message from Reckitt Benckiser. Please join me in welcoming the Head of External Affairs, Media and Partnerships for Reckitt Sub-Saharan Africa, Cassandra Uzo-Obu. A round of applause as she comes up to give a goodwill message, please. Please let's clap and make her feel welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'll just keep it very short. I'm here representing Reckitt, Sub-Saharan Africa, but Reckitt even globally. We are partners with water.org, and we partner with them in various countries for the water credit program. So on behalf of us, just want to congratulate water.org. We also want to thank Sterling Bank and Sterling and the One Foundation for, accepting to do this program. We see the work that you're doing. We see how you're driving sustainability and, the whole wash ecosystem in Nigeria. And that's, very, very commendable. So on behalf of Reckitt, we just want to say that we are hoping that this program will be adopted by even more banks. We want the publicity to go out and let the people know that water credit is here to stay. It's an opportunity for our consumers and the public to have access to capital to develop the wash system in Nigeria. I remembered Mr. Benson from Newsen was talking, and he was talking about the private sector and how the private sector is very instrumental. And even that was sir here from, I think he's FC for us, yes. We're talking about the private sector. We need to come together to collaborate. The government cannot do it alone. And thank you very much for coming and also for having us here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Another round of applause, and thank you for the great work that you're doing at Reckitt. I'd also like to take the opportunity now to welcome from the Development Bank of Nigeria, the Head of Development and Strategic Alliances, Teresa Lawal, for a goodwill message. Please make her feel welcome. Welcome, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to say thank you again to Sterling One for inviting us, and big congrats for always, leading in so many sustainable initiatives. Also, congratulations to WaterAid. For us at Development Bank of Nigeria, we're really happy, as always, to work with Sterling One and also with Sterling Bank on many sustainable issues as it aligns with our own mandate on sustainability. I'll make this short, just to say that also for us, WASH is a very key focus. It's one of our major focus areas. Whilst our focus is on supporting MSMEs, we have key thematic focus areas, and WASH is one of them. We also have initiatives geared towards this area, and I see a lot of areas for collaboration. So I'll just stop here to say we look forward to more collaboration, and we wish you, a very successful event and a successful program. Thank you.
We can keep clapping. Thank you. A round of applause for Teresa Lawal from the Development Bank of Nigeria. I think everyone in this room can agree that Sterling is indeed an innovative bank. I think beyond the WASH sector, we can all attest, if we pass the mic around, to one or two great things that you have experienced or seen that has come out of the rooms of Sterling Bank that can be classed as truly world-class and innovative. To deliver a message from our CEO, please join me in welcoming Akpore Idonedo, who is our Divisional Head of Commercial Banking. A round of applause for him as he comes up, please.
Thank you. Like they say in Nigeria, I will stand on existing protocols. My MD would have been here personally, but we had a management meeting this morning. I had to sneak out to join us because he's very passionate about this. Good morning, distinguished guests, partners. Like I said, I'll rest on existing protocols. If you ask most Nigerians what they want from life, the answers will be things like this: a safe home, a healthy family, a chance to work, and a chance to grow. But behind all these hopes lies one basic need or necessity that I would like to call H2O for those that studied chemistry, which is water. Clean water to drink, to cook, to run a business, to stay healthy, to live with dignity. For millions of people across our country, something as basic as water is still a daily battle. Water is not scarce. It's just clean water that is scarce. And when a community struggles for water, it struggles for everything else: income, education, health, stability, and progress. And that reality has stayed with us for too long. It is the reason we are gathered here today. At Sterling, we have always guided our investments towards sectors that matter most to national development. And I think one of the panelists, my colleague, mentioned them earlier: healthcare, education, agriculture, renewable energy, and transportation. But one truth has become increasingly clear. Water connects all of them. A healthy society cannot exist without safe water. A strong education system cannot thrive when children miss school to fetch water. Businesses cannot grow without reliable water supply. And communities cannot be resilient without sustainable wash solutions. Water is the foundation. And today we are choosing to strengthen that foundation. The water credit proposition is more than a financial product. I was mentioning to my friend from Warri way back, the representative for water.org. We used to be colleagues in GT Bank in my previous life. That this is part of our DNA as an organization. I heard, Peju, you talked about the 3 Ps, people, planet, and profit. These 3 things, right, make up our DNA as an organization. So this is not just about CSR. It's part of what we do as an organization. So the water credit proposition is more than a financial product. It is a catalytic tool designed to expand access to safe water and sanitation across Nigeria. It's designed for households who want dignity and convenience. Entrepreneurs building water-oriented businesses, like my dear friend that spoke earlier on. Institutions serving communities and scaling impact. Innovators in the WASH ecosystem who need capital to take their ideas further. Through this initiative, we are making WASH financing accessible, affordable, and scalable, because when we fund water, we fund health, opportunity, and economic growth. This work is only possible because of the incredible partners we share, who share the same vision with us. Water.org, Lagos State Government, thank you for coming. Sterling One Foundation, you are doing a great work. And of course, Sterling, right? I want to acknowledge our collaborators. I've mentioned some of them, experts, development partners, especially Water.org once again, whose experience in water credit solutions continue to shape global impact. Together, we are saying something bold. The lack of capital should never be the reason a community lacks water. Should never be the reason a child does not have access to water. Imagine a woman entrepreneur in Kaduna or Kara Namoda who can now expand her water kiosk business. Imagine a school in Rivers or in Kafanchan finally able to upgrade its sanitation facilities. Imagine a household in Ogun or in Warri or in Delta, my home state, installing a borehole, freeing young children from hours of daily water collection. Imagine the ripple and multiplier effects. Health restored, dignity regained, time reclaimed, and income enhanced. This is the kind of change we aim to unlock. One loan, one business, one community at a time. That is our promise in Sterling. Today is a starting point. It's a journey, not a finish line. To our development partners, we invite deeper collaboration. To entrepreneurs, we are ready to support your growth. We mean it. We are ready to support your growth. To communities, we renew our dedication to serving you. And to our representative from the Ministry of Environment, we mean this. And to our team at Sterling, I ask you to champion this initiative with passion it deserves, with the passion it deserves. The impact we seek will only be achieved when finance meets empathy, when innovation meets purpose, and when institutions like ours choose to lead with intent. Nigeria deserves a future where water enables dignity. Water really enables dignity, opportunity, and progress for all. With this launch, Sterling Bank is stepping forward not just as a financial institution, but as a partner for national growth and development. That is what we're about in Sterling. A champion of sustainable systems and a bank committed to improving lives. I thank you all for being here. Thank you for believing in this vision. And thank you for joining us on this journey. Thank you for listening.
A round of applause for Akpori. Akpori, please, I'd like you to wait, not to go. We're about to kick off the reason for the season. Thank you very much for your comments and for the great work that we're doing at Sterling Bank. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome back all of our panelists and Beju, CEO, Sterling One Foundation, to please join us around the fountain as we unveil and launch the Sterling Bank Water Credit Program. Okay, you can please come round to the fountain. So we're going around the fountain, please.
Okay, are we ready? Okay. Can the house say wash? Today, we stand at the edge of change. This moment is not just about launching a program. It's about shifting possibilities. It is about building a Nigeria where safe water is not a privilege for the few, but a right. Somebody mentioned that earlier. Okay. I'm excited. It's about proving the that innovative financing can unlock dignity, empower households, and strengthen communities. I want to charge every one of us here today, partners, leaders, champions, to see this launch as a call to action. Execution is everything. Let this be the moment we commit to doing more, reaching further, and ensuring that the promise of safe water becomes a reality for millions. Ladies and gentlemen, with that charge in mind, it is my honor to invite you to join us as we unveil the Water Credit Program by Sterling. Continue with the applause, please. Go ahead, don't relent. Let the water flow. Thank you very much. Thank you. And congratulations.
Thank you very much. I'm sure you want to know more about this water credit program. You can check on the URL sterling.ng/wash. And you can get all the information you need on how to be a part of this unique, groundbreaking initiative and to benefit from it. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause for the Sterling Bank Water Credit Program. It has indeed been a fantastic event. And before we get to the closing remarks, I'd like to welcome the Director of Philanthropy and Resource Mobilization, Sheila OJ, to give us a goodwill message. A round of applause for her as she comes up, please. Let's keep clapping. We can do better than that. Thank you so much. Let's make her feel welcome.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me to stand on the existing protocol. It's been a fantastic day listening to everyone. On behalf of Plan International Nigeria, I commend Sterling Bank, Sterling One Foundation, and Water.org for this bold and timely innovation, one that responds directly to Nigeria's urgent need for expanded access to safe water, sanitation, and hygiene services. Plan International Nigeria is a leading child rights and girls empowerment organization committed to creating a just and safe world where every child, especially girls, can learn, lead, decide, and thrive. For over a decade in Nigeria and over 86 years globally, we have worked across education, protection, health, youth economic empowerment, and humanitarian response, partnering with governments, the private sector, communities to deliver sustainable, gender-responsive solutions that improve lives and strengthen community resilience. This facility today represents more than a financial product. It is a vital opportunity to close persistent gaps that continue to limit the well-being, health, and productivity of millions of Nigerians. At a time when over 60 million people still lack access to safe drinking water, this initiative demonstrates what is possible when organizations like Water.org and Sterling One combine innovation, evidence, and purpose. As an organization deeply committed to advancing health, dignity, and opportunity for vulnerable populations, especially girls and young women, Plan International Nigeria welcomes this product as a transformative step in the right direction. We are ready to collaborate, amplify, and support efforts that bring sustainable wash solutions closer to the communities that need them the most. So once again, congratulations again to Sterling Bank, Sterling One Foundation, and Water.org. We look forward to the impact this initiative will create for households. And as Plan International, we look forward to partnering with you on this. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, and thank you for your goodwill message and for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, time does indeed fly when you are having fun. We're about to take our closing remarks, but it is not an invitation to go home. I see everybody talking in the room. You're all stakeholders in WASH, so we indeed want you to take this opportunity to meet each other, to network, to decide how you can collaborate with Sterling Bank and with other stakeholders here. But please use the opportunity to network post-event. To give our closing remarks, allow me to welcome the CMO, Chief Marketing Officer of Sterling Bank Limited, Mr. Donatus Opako. A round of applause for him as he comes on stage, please.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please, let's put our hands together for Oti, our compare and host. She's done a wonderful job for today. Thank you so much. And for ourselves, please, let's give ourselves a round of applause. We've been here, some of us have been here since 10 a.m. or before 10. Thank you. It's been a wonderful event. And on behalf of Sterling Bank, Sterling One Foundation, and Water.org, I want to express sincere thanks to everyone that is here, especially our partners, the Lagos State Government, ably represented. Thank you so much. Our partners, First EMP, I don't know if they are here. Please, let's give them a round of applause. Thank you so much. Rekit Benkisa, are you still here? Please, let's give them a round of applause in absentia. The Development Bank of Nigeria, Plan International, thank you so much for your support. Not to also forget members of the Fourth Realm, that's the media who are here represented. Please let's give them a round of applause. Thank you so much for helping us to spread our message far and wide. And of course, to each and every guest here present, we sincerely appreciate your time that you've spent with us. Thank you so much. And just as Uti mentioned, this is not a closure to say goodbye, but please do spend some time after this and have a little token on us while networking. Thank you so much, Andrea. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. A round of applause for Mr. Okpako and for Sterling Bank. Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time when we can say goodbye, but not farewell, as we said. We'd like to take some pictures before we go. I also want to take the opportunity to remind everyone, the website where you can get more information is sterling.ng/wash. So we can go and get all the information that we do need there. I'd like to invite the members of the table up front here to take some pictures before we close. Can we have our photographers, please? Water.org, if you can join them. Can we all say wash? Please let's make sure we capture the fountain as well. You're welcome. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, lunch will be served in about 20 minutes. Okay, can I invite everyone, please, to come forward so we can take a group picture? Everybody, please. Thank you, thank you. I'm walking around the room. If I get to your table, you're standing up. You're making me exercise and get my steps in. Can we please go take a picture? Thank you. Sir, thank you. So much, ladies and gentlemen. As I was saying before, lunch is almost ready. So there are 2 serving points. There's one to my left, and there's one outside the room where you had refreshments this morning. So you're welcome to head to either of the 2 points to grab a bite to eat.
Africa's story is one of unwavering resilience, a spirit that endures, a land teeming with life, rising from adversity where hope remains a constant ember. In every heartbeat of this vast continent, there lies a promise of greatness, innovation, and transformation. Across Africa, dreams of empowered communities fill the air. Fertile fields stretch towards horizons brimming with possibility. Profusia beckons with universal health access, education that unlocks potential, equality for all, and an unwavering commitment to food security and climate action. At Sterling One Foundation, we nurture these dreams through the strength of partnership, turning aspirations into reality. Be part of this transformative journey. Help write Africa's next chapter. Visit onefoundation.ng to explore partnership opportunities and create lasting impact